It would have crushed most other human beings. For 3 years, he was confined to an 8-foot by 10-foot cell in solitary confinement. His only outings were to be flogged once a week by his captors, and on other rare occasions to be simply humiliated by them. His crime? He had dared to work with Teresa of Avila in founding new religious orders that didn't follow the religious rules of his captors. When he was first confined in 1577, the monk John of the Cross never knew if he would ever be released or if he would be able to escape. As far as he knew, this dark, dank, small cell was where he would live out the rest of his life. As I said a moment ago, this would have crushed most people, but not John. Instead, in the midst of the actual darkness of his cell, which was illuminated by a single, small window high above his head, he wrote one of the greatest devotional poems of all time called The Dark Night. And by the way, this is night with an N and not a K-N. In this devotional poem, he explored the possibility that finding God almost always begins in the dark, when things appear at their most hopeless. And the quest to find God in the dark, he said, is possible because within each human being's heart is a small, inextinguishable light given by God. And it is that light that allows human beings to seek out and find God and to once again be bathed in the absolute light of God's love. I would guess that for many of us, this past year has seemed a bit like John's confinement. We're locked in and locked up. We're distant from other people. Our ability to interact with the world around us is limited. And the news is of a pandemic filled with fear, hospitalization, death. But to John, and to be more accurate, to St. John of the Cross, he understood that it is in these most difficult of times that we can begin a new journey to encounter God. That in these most difficult of times, we can rediscover that small light of the love of God within us and allow it to give us the courage to look for the greater light, the light that has come, is coming, and will continue to come into the world in Jesus Christ. And this is what the season of Epiphany is all about. It's a reminder that darkness doesn't win, and that like the wise men of old, we too can follow the light and discover the King of the world, who will fill our lives with the inextinguishable light of God's presence and love. My hope for you as you sing, walk, and pray this evening is that you will allow yourselves to feel the light returning, that you will experience that small flame inside illuminating your way as together we begin a new year filled with light, inspired hope for the days, weeks, and months to come. Now go and find the light.